What will be the turns out cigarettes are bad for us of our generation? Probably energy drinks or THC vapes. Lots of people are saying vapes generally, but there really isn't any evidence that vapes are hazardous outside of black market THC vapes with vitamin E acetate used to make the oil appear higher quality. THC vapes may be an issue, but I think those are hazardous because they encourage THC to be used at a higher dosage and greater frequency than it has been traditionally used. We know smoking marijuana is essentially safe, but I suspect the greater dosage and frequency ease of use in vapes raises the risk of addiction and side effects. My 20-something nieces and nephews don't drink. I think alcohol has a lot more stigma in the young generation. As a youngster, we started drinking the minute we got our hands on it. The young folks do not seem interested. I also think young people aren't eating fast food like we did. I lived off Taco Bell for a few years, but they go buy fruit and veggie wraps at the grocery store. We are going to be alright. The next generation seems to have their shit together. Turns out marketing in all its forms, from making people want to eat shitty food, buy products they don't need, or believing all influencers live perfect lives, can make good examples of that. Also, that green energy isn't as green as they sell it, that avocado is causing ecological havoc in the places where it is grown, that American democracy as they sell it has always been a lie, etc. You name it. Turns out not having pollinating insects is bad for us. Turns out acidifying the oceans is bad for us. Turns out making everything out of plastic and spreading microplastics into every biome and thus all of our food and water is bad for us. Turns out letting the 2 richest men make spaceships so the rich can escape the planet they are destroyed is bad for us. The people who are getting high on weed every day, especially with how strong weed is now. I'm all for moderation, and there's a lot of evidence heavy use can really mess some stuff up in your brain. It also just makes you super lazy. I cut back from every day to once a week and it improved my life dramatically. This list could expand to cover so many things. The last 10 years so much has changed, from vapes, smokes, alcohol, social media, gaming. We're all a victim to our growth and development. Taking a step back, review what you're doing and make small changes. Your body will thank you for it. I don't think it will be food or drink we consume, I think it's the things we support that are accelerating climate change. When we're sitting in a Sharknado in 150-degree heat, we'll really regret not tearing those corporations apart like some nouveau Bastille Day. Edit weird typo. Social media phone addiction. I'd rather smoke than be addicted to an app like TikTok, lol. Many young people I know have like 14 hours of usage a day on their phone, which is basically the entire day. I think the long-term effects on the brain will not be good. Chemotherapy and radiation. With how quickly technologies such as CRISPR, immunotherapy, and gene-based treatments are advancing, I think we'll look back one day soon and be mortified that we used to irradiate people and subject them to such toxic medicine. Maybe all of these Botox implants, cosmetic surgeries people are getting now? Some come out looking really unnatural and uncomfortable, and I know some people get them in unsafe ways, locations, and it makes me wonder what harm it could cause in the future. You're ridiculous if you think the two are comparable. People died of secondhand mesothelioma. Asbestos is so dangerous that wives of break workers died from handling their laundry. Show me one case of anyone getting silicosis that way, you maniac! Consuming animal products. They are now being linked to heart disease, cancer, diabetes as far as direct harm. Indirect harm is the obvious point that will be our cigarette comparison harming animals, and ourselves via destruction of the planet. Going to loud concerts or clubs without using earplugs will severely damage your hearing. I wear earplugs to loud events and I always get roasted for doing so the day of, but told the next day it was a good idea because their tinnitus is acting up. People are still pretty ignorant of the scale of the problem of air pollution. People think we fixed it or something, but it's still killing 7 million people a year, 200,000 Americans a year. Turns out fossil fuels are bad for you. Mental health problems with staying high pretty much 24/7. I know a lot of people who smoke, but the ones who do it first thing in the morning till bedtime, are not in good shape, and they defend THC as vehemently as any drunk. The millennials are already seeing the repercussions of using iPads to raise their children. I can't imagine what those kids are gonna be like in 10 years and how sad millennials are going to be feeling about it. Yikes! Emo, I don't trust antidepressants. It seems like a lot of people are on them, and don't get me wrong, some people def need them, but doctors seem to prescribe them for just a case of the blues, which I think is dangerous. Republicans. When they stopped being able to win elections, they started abandoning democracy, as predicted. I think it fits. Like cigarettes will kill you, We've known it for decades, but we kept ignoring it. Microplastic, specifically heating up plastic. It's crazy how many ready meals that come in plastic containers are just heated up in the microwave. Phosphors and non-stick coating on pans. Probably also aspartame. Microwaves. I can't back it up, I just have a feeling at some point down the road, scientists will be like, oh, all these cancers are from people nuking the shit out of their food all day every day for decades. BPA's in food from plastic packaging. Especially when it gets hot. We know there's a link to hyperactivity in children. We know we have an epidemic of ADHD, but somehow, we just can't connect the dots. iPad babies. There's already proof that early device addiction causes developmental delays. A lot of those kids are going to end up with lifelong brain damage and we won't know until we know. I'm betting on smoking or vaping any substance will be the closest equivalent. Inhaling hot gases, smoke, vapor can't be good for your lungs regardless of the substance that's being inhaled. Oh man, the social media answers are so silly. Parents, put your foot down on your kids using the internet unsupervised. The only right answer is vapes. There's a widespread artificial sugar in most of the vitamin supplements. I don't state it as a fact, but it's probably something currently said to be healthy, we later find out it totally isn't. Plastic. Teflon pans, plastic spatulas, plastic containers heated in the microwave, plastic heating elements in coffee pots, plastic roasting bags, etc., are really unhealthy. Plastic. Plastic everywhere in all things, carrying our food, our water. It's already starting to be known, but it'll be like a truck when we realize just how bad it is. Plastic. We are the plastic generation, and I'm pretty sure that's how future historians will refer to us based on the layer of plastic they find during excavations. Ozempic-type drugs being pushed for weight loss will be the new opiates in the sense of increase of thyroid and pancreatic cancers and kidney issues, etc. Probably dabs in this potent-ass weed we have now. Don't get me wrong, I love to participate, but I couldn't see how it benefits the brain's chemistry at all. Driving in cities. I honestly hope that this time in 20 years when cars are banned in most city centers, we will be wondering why we didn't do this earlier. Encouraging trans ideology. Social media. I'm starting to think Wi-Fi might legitimately have some form of impact, but no scientist can't really prove it. Cigarettes were known to cause lung cancer in the 1950s, so that wasn't unique to Gen X. Boomers should have known better than to pick up smoking. Gasoline engines. And once this shit hits the fan, it'll be revealed that practically everyone in charge knew how bad gas engine exhaust really was. Ozempic, Wegovy, and other similar drugs. There is no way we don't see pancreatic cancer or other things pop up from long-term use of these drugs. I believe that the greatest health and well-being risk in my life since 1948 has been the Democrat political party, starting around 1965, that brief time when ketchup came in purple and green colors. I'm convinced that food dye is why so many young people have gut problems. Cats. Assigning a gender to newborns. Letting politicians make laws about medical treatments. Allowing resource hoarding. Nothing that is written here. Will probably be some shit everyone thinks is actually healthy, like vitamins or solo. Vapes, drugs, especially pharmaceutical, plastic, social media, and phones. Cost of living and wages. Climate change. I think we're really gonna start understanding the consequences of processed foods, meats in particular. Turns out that too much gaming interferes with the ability to think deeply or clearly about anything. I think about this all the time. It'll probably be I can't believe they used to have cell phones. High fructose corn syrup. We already know it's bad now, but we've yet to see the long-term effects. Cigarettes aren't even that bad. If you have a few a day, your risk is the same as a non-smoker. Smoking weed. Everyone is so against cigarettes, but smoking weed is not healthy for you either. Fucking vaping. There is no way that shit isn't affecting you. Huffing artificial flavors. Not too far away from, but most intelligent people should already know that. Now, watch it be all these flavored, sparkling waters. Aha, bubbly Louisiana craw. All poison. Sugar replacements, totally guessing, but the idea of a sweetener always seemed odd to me. Long tail COVID. We're going to be seeing the side effects of COVID damage for decades. Obesity. People are already kinda pushing back on mid-2010s popularized haze bullshit. Cell phones, social media, e-cigs, ADHD meds, COVID boosters for young healthy people. TikTok and prolonged exposure to social media apps beginning in early adolescence. Guess aliens are real and we've been led to for thousands of years. Macron to Macron. Microwaving your food in a plastic bag? It's sad that cook and bag foods exist. Sunscreen, coating you and your kids' bodies in spray chemicals can't be good. It will be found that Popeye's chicken sandwiches cause erectile dysfunction. Most of the stuff said here is what we already know is bad, so possibly VR. Turns out chronic weed use does have negative psychological impacts. People who vape are gonna have a nasty shock in a few years, I reckon. COVID. Repeated infections are destroying all of our immune systems. Big Chocolate finally admits that dark chocolate is not a superfood. It's already sedentary work situations. Sitting for 8 hours a day, staring into smartphone 24/7 with your neck frozen in one position. Turns out fat is not the enemy and sugar and corn syrup are toxic. It'll be TikTok. Once the war with China starts, it'll be all over. Preservatives and everything probably killing healthy gut bacteria. Maybe Wi-Fi, cell phone radiation, duff cooking things in tinfoil. Prescribing birth control pills to cure every female ailment. Not exactly the same, but silica exposure is the new asbestos. Beauty products. I doubt there is good tox data on 99 of it. Soda and juice. Liquid sugar is terrible otherwise. Body fizz gonna be the reason for lots of cancer, I feel like. Turns out high fructose corn syrup is bad for you. Man shrugging. We're seeing it now with BBLs giving folk symbolisms. Pot and social media. But this will get me downvoted. Diet Coke, I still love DC, please don't come for me.